In this video, we're going to be looking at a New King James Version. And the New King James Version, I believe, is under the copyright from Nelson. But Holman does produce New King James Bibles. And I wanted to do this one because, as you can see, this is the black premium leather. This is a Bible that I've reviewed before, and I really like the text block from Holman. But I was curious what the premium leather would be like. So I'm going to show that, but just to show you here, this is the NKJV large print Ultrathin reference Bible, and it actually retails here in this premium leather for $130, but I was able to get this on CBD for about $75, so quite a discount. Now I do have a leather touch version in British tan here, and I have shown this Bible. It's actually under a review that I called my best all-round Bible. So another reason I wanted to do this review is to really highlight this particular text block because I like it so much. And this one retails for only $30. And I was looking just recently on CBD, and I've gotten these for about $21, I think. But on CBD, I think I saw it the other day for only $18 for the leather touch version. And so you can really get a great deal on this. So I did want to just show what this premium leather looks like because I was so curious. A lot of us like good leather covers on our Bibles, so I wanted to take a look at this. So my first impression of it when I took it out of the box was, even though it's called premium leather, I guess I'm just getting spoiled by other Bibles that are out there now. I'll show you a Nelson premium or premier collection, and this is goat skin with a nice liner. I'm not sure what the liner is, and edge lined. So this you can get for probably in the $90 to $100 range. And when you compare these two, I would say that this is definitely a higher quality leather. So when I think of premium, and this is actually one of the cheaper premiums out there, this is still better quality than the Holman. And the Holman, like I said, I was able to get it for $75. I would say it is worth maybe around that much. But if you're paying $100, you can get a Nelson and get a better quality leather. And then if you pay a little more for the second edition, this is brown goatskin leather, the Premier Collection, New King James Version. This is even nicer leather. Again, it's goatskin, but looking at this first edition and second edition, I mean, they stepped it up with this second edition here. So what is interesting is to compare just all of these together, and you see the spines. The Holman does have raised hubs, and the second edition Nelson does. The first edition Nelson just had painting on there. So I do like the raised hubs, but again, leather quality, that just struck me as not being as good as Nelson. When you think of premium, I just think now, you know, other companies are really stepping it up, and this, to be honest with you, just doesn't come across as premium. It actually had kind of a vinyl feel to it. I guess that's the word that comes to my mind when I feel this. Now, I trust it really is leather. Let me show you the liner here. I think it's just a synthetic liner, although I could be wrong. That could be some sort of leather, but you know, even if that is synthetic, which I think it is, that's okay. But that is a thin piece of leather. The grain is just very slick and smooth, not much to it. So, you know, I just don't think it's really what I would call premium leather, although it is different than the genuine leather covers that you see out there that are almost, you know, kind of this hard, stiff material. So in that sense, because it's soft and flexible, you could call it premium. And then just looking at the make here, I was disappointed on this particular one that it looks like the printing, as you can see here, kind of came out blurry, like they double printed it. Now I could easily return this to CBD and get that replaced. For my purposes, I think I can live with it, but you know, I think if you get one, that won't necessarily be that way, but it kind of just speaks to the mixed quality of this. Again, you know, it is leather, and that's nice. It is edge lined, that's nice. It does have these raised hubs, so there's some nice things about it. But if they're charging, you know, over $100 for this, I just struggle now to think it's worth it when I compare it to the other things that you can get right now in that price range. For $75, I do think that this has some good quality to it because that edge lining and leather cover probably will last. Now, it has the typical ribbons that you see with Holman. These were cut just fine, which is really good. And when you get to the text block on the inside, this is the large print edition. So the font here, I think, is in the 9-point range. It's not a huge font, but it's larger than the regular thin line from Holman. And it is center column reference with the verse-by-verse format. And I really love this. It is a black letter text in the New Testament when you get to the words of Jesus. That's all black letter. So it's really the same thing as the one I showed you in the leather touch. The text block's the same, and I absolutely love this text block. Let's look at the date on these. So yeah, they're both, they look like they were printed at pretty much the same time. It looks like the exact same text block from 2018, 30th printing. And so the exact same text block. The only difference would actually be the edge. This has gold gilt, and this has silver gilt. So that's one difference, and the covers are different. So at the end of the day, I think you can see where I'm going with this. For $20 or even less right now, I actually think this is probably a better Bible overall, certainly for the money. But if you really want a leather cover and you want edge lining as opposed to paste down, which in this one is pretty, you know, inexpensive material here, just kind of a paper type paste down, and then a cardstock paper here. So, you know, this one definitely has some better quality to it with this liner edge lined and a little better end page here. So that's good, but I would say if you pay more than $75, if you're getting into the $90 to $100 range, I just not sure that I would go with that personally. But it really depends on, you know, how much you want leather. But, you know, for $75, this still might be a good option for some people. And I would just say for me personally, though, I think for $20, this one here is just fine. And you could get actually multiple copies and still be paying less than this one here. That being said, I don't want to speak too negatively about this because I'm just comparing to what's out there now. And in the last few years, the market has just gotten to be so much more competitive. And so I'm really comparing to that. This came out a couple years ago. And so even then the market was a little bit different. But it is leather. And that text block, if you do get this, I just again wanted to show this text block to the audience because I like it. It is a decent sized print. It's very classic, old school. It's got the verse by verse, but for paragraph designations, it has these verse numbers in bold print. Also, it has the stanzas and poetic form for passages and poetry. So I really like that too. The paper in these is decent quality. Again, I wouldn't call this premium. It's really the same text block as the leather touch, but it doesn't have a lot of show through. And so I really do like that. Even though it's not line matched, it is an older typeset, but that's okay because you don't have a lot of ghosting in here. So I really do like this text block a lot. And so I wanted to show that again and just give you a feel for what the premium leather is like. Not the most premium, but if you do want a leather Bible and you can get it for more in that $70 to $80 range, then I think it's a pretty good buy. But that leather touch is definitely something worth looking into because it is so affordable. So those are my thoughts on the Holman NKJV large print ultra thin reference Bible in the black premium leather. Thank you so much for taking a look at this Bible with me from a fresh perspective.